Alright, what's up guys? So in today's video we're going to be doing a part 2 of the LED taillight conversion, and if you guys haven't watched the part 1, please do so, link in the description. And last time we learned about the build and we took off the lens, taking off the adhesive. Then we learned about the mapping of the sequential unit, and we cut out the circuit, and we've also put a vinyl wrap over it, so it's basically ready to go. So in today's video we're going to finish the sequential turn signal. So yeah, let's get right in. All right, you guys, so basically before we move on, I forgot to mention about something important, is to take off these adhesives that are stuck inside the tail light housing and the lens as well. Yeah, because we're gonna put a new seal after, so it doesn't matter. You don't need these adhesives that are old and crusty. You don't need them. They're annoying, so we're gonna take them off. You know the drill, heating it up with a gun. And what I did though, I used a screwdriver, and basically I just heated up the screwdriver with a heat gun too, and just kind of like prying it one section by one section. Take your time and make sure they are relatively kind of clean. It's okay to leave some adhesives there because it really helps kind of put the lens together afterwards. So yeah, do that first and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, now we're going to move on to the soldering the LEDs. Yeah, very exciting. So this is the solder I used. It's from Ryobi, and it's a really good soldering kit. I really like this one, so I can really recommend anybody if they're looking for a soldering kit. This is a really good one. It comes with it's a stand, and it's a rechargeable battery, and it's cordless. And it's really nice to be cordless because you can take it anywhere and you can definitely use it. And somebody like me who doesn't have a power at a parking garage or something, it's really good. So yeah, get this one. It's really good. It was really good. And we're gonna move on to the next step. So to recap, this is the LED map that we talked about in the last video. By this time you should already have at least your LED map ready, right? So that was the plan that I mentioned in the last video. If you haven't yet, maybe you should start making it at this step. So now we're going to only focus on one group of LED, which was these 4 LED that are connected together, because remember, all the LEDs are in one group, which is the 4 LEDs, right? So basically we're going to try figure out the direction of the terminal. So this is the LED terminal, if you guys remember this photo. So the one that has a little indent, that side is a plus side, and then the other side, which is the square part, is the negative side. So in this map, as you can see, there's a negative side and a plus side. It ends with the negative. It starts with the negative and it ends with the positive. So that's how you want to line it up, right? So what I did was, on the top 2, it was in the same direction, and then the other 2 on the bottom, they are in the same direction as well. And this is how we're going to wire it up, from plus to minus, and plus to minus, and end with the plus. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So yeah, make sure when you're placing your LEDs and make sure the direction is correct. It should start with the negative or positive and ends with either or that are opposite. So make sure you kind of keep that in mind and think about how you're gonna place your LEDs, because you have to connect them. So the way I did, made it easier to connect with each other. But when it's curved or in a different direction, it's kind of difficult. So you kind of have to think about how you're going to place these LEDs and thinking about the terminal side and stuff like that. But you don't have to decide this now. Just watch this whole entire video and you'll probably understand why I want you guys to make sure you think about the terminals and direction of where you're putting your LEDs towards to. So yeah, with that being said, let's get into soldering. Alright, so now I'm getting started on soldering. If you guys need a tutorial on how to solder, you guys can let me know in a comment down below. I can maybe do a video about that. But you can find it plenty all over internet. I'm not a professional soldering person either. I kind of learned in school, but it was just that 1 year, and that was like 8 years ago. So I'm really kind of digging through my memory and doing this, but it's really simple. It's not hard. It's honestly just taking your time on it and making sure your soldering, tip is clean every time you're soldering. So, it's nice and clean basically. So yeah, put your LED in place and then let's move on to the wiring. So this is how it looks so far. I'm showing you guys a video right now, and so when it's placed like that nicely, and when you look at the back, you see that 4 points for each LEDs are attached, right? So you want to put a little bit extra solder when I'm connecting it. This is how it should look. Yeah, so it's connected by a wire, and I want to explain to you guys how exactly I did in this video. And so this is the explanation. First of all, this is where the LED placement is. You see the mark is the purple, and then the yellow is the LED legs, and this is the terminal direction. You see it starts with the negative side and it ends with the positive. And then what I did, I wired each other with the green line. So that's how I connect each other, from plus to minus, plus to minus. At the ends, you can connect them together. There's no problem with that. So yeah, this is how I did it. I used leftover leg for resistors. I don't have any leftovers, so I just cut some of the resistor legs, and then I basically soldered with each point by one. You can bend it around to make it work. So yeah, it might be kind of tedious, but take your time on it. So this is what I use as power regulator. So this is the kit that I bought. All right, so now we're going to test the LEDs, and understanding that setting the regulator at 6 volts because it's 2.0 volts LED and there are 3 of them, so that's 6 volts. Make sure the terminals are in the right direction. I already hooked up the 4th one, so which means it's 8 volts. And what I did, I connected the 4th LED by bridging the middle section and bending the resistor leg to connect them together. And test it, make sure the terminal is in the right direction and it lights up. It's great that it lights up. It was really happy and rewarding that it worked. So we're going to move on to the rest and finishing this off. So now you just solder the rest, basically just solder the LED first, and then I just put all the legs together. But yeah, try not to rush, try to be careful. I messed up a lot doing this step, so and then what I learned that if you're a really careful person, that wouldn't happen. I would test it by each section every time you finish it. So yeah, and when you test it, it should come out like that. So this is how it looks. It's basically done, and now we're going to move on to the wiring. Fun. So this diagram that I introduced were not the same as what I did, because the sequential module I purchased, like, it has a terminal on the both side. So as you can see, there are 3 color wire and there's a ground wire. So basically the ground that's coming out from the LED, you'll connect it to the module, and the positive side, you're going to put a resistor and then merging it together and then putting it to the module. Basically, we're going to understand about the resistors that you have to put, right? So basically, one group is 8 volts, right? And the power that you're getting is a 12 volts with 14.4 max, and that means 14, it's a lot more than 8.0, and LED will break because of the over voltage. So you have to add a resistor to lower the power going to the LED to make sure it functions well. So basically, this is the Ohm's law formula. This is how you figure out the resistor that you need. And you can look at the specification of LED by going to the website that you bought it from. And basically, you want to use this as a reference, and you need 320 ohm resistor for each line that's coming out. I actually put 120 and I was wrong, so I kind of have to redo this whole process again, but you get what I mean. So you need 6 320 ohm resistors for each power sources, and then you're merging it together by group. So 1 2 3, so 2 has 3, right? And then 1 and 3 has 2, and then connecting it to the module. So this is what it looks like when all the grounds are connected, and you basically, that end of the ground will be connected to the module, because that's a sequential module. And then now we're doing the power, and this is where we need to use a separate circuit, and then we put 6 resistors like that, and then you want to bend it over and solder it, and this is how it looks. So basically, we're going to connect 6 power side, and then that's how it looks, and then you merge them together. What I did was, I bend it over so it becomes like 2 3 2, right? Because they're grouped by 2 3 2, and then you put positive side, and then coming out of the module there's a power and a ground. So you set it at 12 and then test it. I know I kind of went over really quickly, but just kind of stop by and read those memo on the bottom. It really helps. But yeah, so when you turn it on, it's sequential because it's grouped by 2 3 2, right? And then I merged them together and I connected to the module, so that's how it's going to be. And yeah, this is it for today's video. I know I kind of rushed the end, but this is how basically sequential taillights are made. Next up, we're going to do the angel lights. Make sure to subscribe and follow all my social media. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace out.